Hey guys, PPD here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a guide to playing support. As most of you may know, I am the Position 5, aka Position 6, aka Position 9 Warlock player for Team Evil Geniuses. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the basics of being a better support player and some of the things that I keep in mind always when I'm playing Dota. So for the basis of this video, I've broken down supporting into 5 different categories. The first one is warding, the second one is pulling, the third one is stacking, fourth one is zoning offlaners, and the fifth one is casting spells. Now that might seem simple, but I'm going to go into detail about each and every one of these 5 subjects. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have ever seen this game. It's a custom game called Neutral Camp Spawn Boxes. It's a really useful game for support players or basically any Dota player in general. What it does is it shows you all of the boxes where camps can be blocked. So if you see, like, when I enter this box, this camp is blocked, or if I place a sentry ward, this box will go red, meaning this hard camp won't spawn. It's a really useful custom game, and it's very informative. So for a support player, the most important thing, it's not really about blocking camps unless you're in the enemy jungle and you're trying to block maybe a jungler's camps from spawning. So when you're playing support, it's very important for this camp to be dewarded in most games you'll find yourself in, because this is the camp that will allow you to gain additional experience and gold and stop leeching experience and gold from your carry and lane. That being said, Radiant now with the new patch has the ability to pull both camps, the small camp and the hard camp, into lane. You also can connect the medium camp if done properly. So as you can see, the Radiant small camp has a relatively small spawn box compared to other camps. So that makes it really easy to deward. Before the Radiant, before the last patch, this camp was much more difficult to deward because there was, even if you place 2 sentries on each side of the camp, it was still possible for you to miss some certain spots. And you can see now with 2 sentries, you should always be able to find your enemy's ward that is blocking your camp. So there's not too much to be said here. You're pretty much going to guess left or right or up or down, and you're going to find it. In my experiences, offlaners most commonly want to, I'll kill these real quick. They most commonly want to place a ward that's also going to give them vision of something that's going on. So a ward like right here is probably very common. This is going to give them vision of everything here and everything down here and of the camp. Just kind of this whole area, so they can kind of see the supports. Also, they could also ward up here. This is also not a bad ward for them because they can see people crossing over and going to the rune, and it's going to give them some additional information. Anything over here is less common. There's no more magic bush spots, so you can't block both camps with one ward anymore. So when you're supporting in lane, these are the ones you need to look out for. I would say is this one, and I think a ward on the right is probably your best first guess. And if you do miss it by chance and they place it all the way, like they place their ward down here and this ward's going to miss it, then just place your next sentry here. Being able to deward the pull is incredibly essential and can be game losing if you're not able to do it, especially if your team is committed to a tri-lane where you're entirely dependent on that camp to gain golden experience on your supports. Another common offlane ward for dire offlaners, initially at the games, they'll come down here and place a ward over here. I've seen most offlaners kind of transition that ward to being down here, because the reason for that is because when the offlaner places their ward in this spawn box, there's only so many places their ward can be, and you often know where it is, so it's a very easy deward for you to do. This spawn box is a bit bigger, but it's still you're still able to get everything with 2 sentries. So left and right, just know your limitations. Here it's right at the ledge is one, and over here is the middle of this bush. Okay guys, now I'm going to show you a couple tips on pulling. The first one is I'm going to show you is the Radiant Small Camp. This is the pull that you basically start everything with. On Radiant, you can actually pull either camp. So you can pull it anywhere between like 14 and 17, and you'll most often be able to get the entirety of the camp. Remember that the creeps aggro when the neutrals attack your hero. So if there's a range creep and the auto attack chases you, you can do it. Like I said, this camp's a little difficult to pull, so like you can't really pull through as effectively anymore. But you can get this pull. Just remember that it's important that these creeps auto attack you when this creep wave is dying. And that being said, doing this pull, the medium to the small camp, is incredibly difficult as a melee hero. I would say almost impossible.